First, I will discuss separately inheritance. Later in the middle of the class, I will add polymorphism also to the inheritance. So start understanding about why we need the concept of inheritance. So as a part of that, we discuss before 15 minutes this 15 minutes now. So here we will understand importance and purpose of inheritance, types of inheritances, and next we'll go for syntax for using inheritance and followed by number of examples. To that, we will add method overriding, constructor overriding, which is nothing but implementation of what? Polymorphism. So this concept will go on presently. So let me start with inheritance in the class. Okay. So take an example. Take paint. I'm going to give you certain example here. What are the reusable things which you learned so far? What are the reusable things so far which you learned in my class? Functions, good. Modules, packages. Using that, we can reuse the things from one program to another program, from one environment to another environment by mod packages. So, but what is the problem of that with import statement? Once you import one function name or any class name from one place to another place, definitely the function name is taking some memory space is taking, even that I mentioned in the previous discussion. Now, today's discussion is that type of problem should not be taken place. What is the problem with the previous modules and functions and packages, etc.? Once if I import function name or data member name, class name anyhow you leave it, which won't take any memory space. Global variable name, or if you take it, function name like this, from something like simple int from ICICI, import bname and ADDR and simple int if I take it in one of the program, definitely memory space is taken for bname, ADDR, simple int. This is in one program if I do. If I do it in another program, same statement if I write, again memory space is taking. That means if I reuse my variable names and then function names 25 times, in all the times memory space is taken in. Are you following? So this is definitely small considerable drawback only. So how can I overcome this? This point in whoops can be overcome by using inheritance. Shall we start now? So inheritance I'm going to take up. Very easy, not a difficult. Within few seconds you can understand. Let us follow that. This is a class defined by me. This is a class defined by me. So let us take little down. This is a class taken by me. There I am writing. What is this class name here? Caviar. I'm taking class name called caviar. Or otherwise you take it as QR code. QR code is a class name defined by, I'm going to take it, defined by what? Caviar here. Defined by caviar. For example, in this what I'm having, students, in this class I'm having the function name. What is the function name? DEF generate QR code. Generate a QR code. This is a function name. So this person has written in this, written some group of statements. Some group of statements written. Some group of statements written. Some state written it here. Some group of statements written. So I'm going to take up here itself. I am writing some group of statements written, students. So like this, they have written some group of statements. This is taken how much time, to define this for this person has taken 5 minutes of time, written 5 minutes of time. This is called 5 minutes of time and taken up around 5 lines of code is written. 5 lines of code is written. Okay. And there are some students. Who are the students? For example, the student name is called what, one of the student. 1 minute. So this box I will take little up. So here I will take it. This is the one I am having. So this code taken by this code want by some of the students in the class. So some of the students, they are also using object oriented programming only. They are also using object oriented programming only. So for example, Yamini, for example, student name is called Yamini. So next is called student name is called Nagalakshmi. Something like this, something like this, something like this. Next is called Sushant. One more student is called Sushant. These are the students want this QR code. They have written their going down. Why? If the number of people are increasing, if the number of classes are increasing, they are writing the same code again and again. And that leads to what? Generating leads to what? Redundancy of the code. What do you mean by redundancy? Duplication. If I want to change the QR code, for example, certain modifications required, everybody has to do the modification. If anybody forgets at one place, it gives error or not. So to avoid this kind of problem, what we need, reusability I require. What is the reusability says in industry? If the code was already defined by investing some amount of money on the development, by investing some time on that, and by writing some lines of code, if the same lines and same minutes of time, if you want, nobody can write the same code again and again. What they will do? They will try to use the code of one class into another class. Anywhere else, what is reusable component? Functions are the reusable component. Earlier, we reused through what? Modules. Today, we are reusing the method of one class into what class? Yamini class, not through modules. Through what we are using? Inheritance we are using. So, what is the concept of inheritance? Is the process of getting the data members and methods from one class into where? Another class. So that Yamini need not write the same code of 5 lines and 5 minutes of time. Nagalakshmi also need not write the same code again. And Sushant also need not write the same code again. While I am inheriting, we need not write the source code. Is it called good development or not? Plus, it won't take any memory space like our module level importing time, because this is coming from class to class. Class to class definitely never takes any memory space, right or not? So, the additional advantage we are getting in inheritance is neither we write the source code nor they takes the physical memory space. That is the beautiful reusable technique available in OOPS. What is the technique called? Inheritance. So, what did you understand about inheritance? Inheritance concept says that if the code was already built by somebody else, in previously few days back or few years back. If I need the same code again, what I do? Number one, if I talk about investment point of view, to develop the same code, whatever the money you invested, same money you have to invest on the code development or not. That is number one. Number two, if I write the same code again, is it not waste of time? And is it not is it not a waste of money? Is it not waste of lines of code also? These are all problems. What I need, if the code was already developed, how I can get the code in the further place? Either through modules or through class to class. This is not module to module. It is what? Class to class. So if I go to class anytime, even the modules are available in inheritance. I will go for which concept? Inheritance concept, I say. So what is the definition of inheritance? The process of obtaining the data members and methods from one class into where? Another class is called what? Inheritance. The class which is giving the data members and methods to another class is called what is called base class or called superclass or called parent class. So hence this class is known as what? Hence this class is known as what here? Super, or we can call it as what? Base, or we can call it as a parent class. Parent class. And the classes which are taking from these classes, this is called a derived class. This is here I am writing. This is known as derived, or we can call it as what? Subclass, or also called as a child class. Also called as a child class. Similarly, the other class also called this class also called derived class or child class. This also known as what child class or subclass. So tell me finally, with inheritance, inheritance follows which memory management? Inheritance follows, in an important word, follows which memory management? Virtual memory management it will follow. Also called as what? Logical memory management it will follow. What do you mean by logical memory management or virtual memory management? We feel that there is a data is available, but the data never takes any memory space, never writing the same code. For example, online students who are available in my class, what is happening? What is happening in that case? Are they taking any resources of Naresh IT here? No, they are simply available at their home and simply getting my class concept as it is. What you are getting, online students also getting the same thing. But are they taking any memory space in my class? No. That is known as which memory management? Virtuality. Virtuality means what? We feel that it is there, but in reality, it doesn't exist. That means we are getting the same code as it is. We are getting the same type of code. We are not getting any memory space. That is known as which memory management? Virtual memory management. So I think you are understanding the meaning of virtual memory management. This part you need to carefully understand. So online students, so this part you need to understand. What is the virtual memory management says? Neither we write the source code nor takes the physical memory space. That is a special advantage of the inheritance virtual memory management. Is this concept is clear? So Yamini will not write the same code. Next is called Dhanalakshmi will not write the same code. Sushant also will not write the same code. What they are using? What simply they are using? Reuse the code of KVR class. Similarly, here also reuse the code of KVR class. Here also reuse the code of KVR class. Because of the reusability through inheritance, what are the advantages? What are the advantages? Number one, development time is less. Next, application takes less memory space because it is not taking the memory space again and again, and takes what? Fastest execution, and it takes what? High performance, and redundancy also reduced like anything. How redundancy is reduced? One time only I am writing. These people are just reusing it. If I do any changes, one time if I change it, is it reflecting to all the classes or not? That is a beauty of this inheritance concept. How modules are different from inheritance? Whenever I import, once again I'm saying, whenever I import the function names and the global variables of any program to next program, that will take memory space for global variables plus function names. If I reuse through modules times, 20 times memory space will be taken for global variables and functions. But if I come to the concept of classes, that global variables, that functions written inside the class are not. So through one class to another class, I am getting it. That time memory space will not be taken it. That is the significant advantage of what? Significant advantage of which concept? Inheritance. So I hope I reached you. Online students, is my concept is understood? Is my concept is understood? All of you, please respond. Now I'm going to show you one small notes for you people. One small notes I want to show you. So when I come back to this, whoops, inheritance, I'll show you. Just to try to read out the inheritance meaning. Come on, all of you, try to read. Start. Inheritance is one of the distinct feature of whoops. The purpose of inheritance concept is that to build reusable applications with effective memory management in Python object-oriented programming. Definition read properly. No, no. So I'm just feeling like you are singing like a song. So you are lazy voice. You are number one lazy candidate. So earlier you used to read very well. Up to yesterday you used to read very well. But today not reading. Are lazy. Not becoming fresh up and directly taken a book and then come to from bed. Only few people are active and others are sleepy faces only. Come on, eliminate definition of inheritance. The process of obtaining data members, methods, and constructors. That 1 minute. Those three things of the class is known as what? What are the features of class? Data members, methods. How many data members? Two. Instance data members, class level data members. Methods, how many? What are those? Instance method, class level method. Very good. Constructors, how many? Two. One is default constructor, parameterized constructor. Good. Like that, you need to speak. Clarity undali. When you speak, other person has to understand. Am I speaking like you? I'm speaking with good clarity or not? How that good clarity will come? Wake up early morning, brush up, need to press something, need to do some exercise, need to come to the class. Need to do exercise means one looking at another girl. What exercise? You need not to do exercise. You do what? Python. Read Python words. That is called exercise. Right or not? So then, so that you'll get a clarity. Why you wake up early now? Actual rule of thing is you have to wake up before sun rises. If you wake up after sun rises, sun will absorb your energy. If you wake up early before the sun, you will get energy from the nature. Correct or not? One day you do this, tomorrow you wake up at 5 o'clock just to go for walking in Amirpet. Don't read it. First 2 days you just roam here and there. Then after third day, you start reading Python notes. Correct? Go from tomorrow onwards. Okay? Hmm. Okay. Start. The process of obtaining data members, methods, constructors of one class into another class is called inheritance. The class which is giving data members, methods, and constructors is called super or base or what is called parent class. The class which is taking data members and methods and constructors is called subclass or derived class or child class. Definition: what is the base class? What is the derived class? And what it follows? Inheritance concept always follows logical or virtual memory management. What is this memory management says? This memory management says that neither we write source code nor takes physical memory space. About inheritance, 5 points. That's all. You apply in C++, apply in Java, apply in .NET, apply anywhere else wherever inheritance is coming. Inheritance follows which memory management? Virtual memory management. What is virtual memory management says? Neither I write the source code because I'm getting the source code from the base class, nor that code which is coming not taking any memory space because not, that I'm not taking through module. I'm only through inheritance concept. So is it going to be a good advantage or not? Yes. So coming to the point of it, and so come to the smiley. Sir, we are sleeping in room. How sun takes energy, sir? My dear student, you sleep in inside the room, you take it, and the compulsory nature effect you don't know. And okay, if you like it, you follow. Otherwise, you sleep only, no problem. So he's thinking that before sun only, if he sleep, he will take the energy. And in inside the room when he sleep, he is thinking like that. So what can I say to you? Because my time is very important. I will concentrate on my class. Okay, fine. Anyhow, come to the point of it. Advantages of what? Inheritance. Start. When we develop any inheritance based application, we get the following advantages. Number one, application development time is less, application memory space is less, application execution time is fast or less, application performance is enhanced. Enhanced means what? Improved. Redundancy means duplication of the code is minimized. These are the advantages. Did you understand the advantages? Now, we need to go for the code also now. Before going to that, why development time is less? Whatever the code, 100 lines of code my developer has written it, I am not writing the same code. I am getting as it is. And whose memory space I am not getting as it is in my class. Plus, whatever the memory space there taken, it is not taking with me. Definitely fast execution will be there. Understood? So, because of fast execution, because of less memory space, what will be taken up? Less memory space, fast execution. It's called high performance thing. And any changes you do, the changes you need not to do it. Changes will be done in the base class level only. The changes will reflect in all the places whoever is inheriting. That is known as what redundancy of the code is minimized. These are the advantages of inheritance. The same thing I said even in functions also for you. Why? That is also reusability. That is also reusability. So that reusability will take what? Considerable amount of memory space, but that time it is okay. But through inheritance, this is also going to be same kind of points. So ultimately in Python, how many reusable techniques? Functions, modules, packages at functional level. In object-oriented reusability is what? Inheritance. So which one is the best reusability technique? Inheritance. That's why in robotics designing, ML, DL, in many of the places, we are using whoops only. Understand? Well, and to use this inheritance, I require definitely what concept? Class concept. Because we are getting the things from one class into what? Another class. Definitely we need classes concept, object concept we need. Right. Now I'm going to enter into the further. Okay, sir, we are inheriting the things from one class into another class. How many ways are there to inherit? I'm going to talk. That are known as what types of inheritances we can call. Types of inheritances. Types of inheritances we are going to talk. There are these types of inheritances makes us to understand if model, how the model, from how many places we are inheriting it. I want to tell you something like a definition of inheritance. What do you mean by type of inheritance here? A type of inheritance is called one type of model, or it is called one pattern, which makes us to understand how the flow features are coming from one class into another class. Like that, how many types are there? One by one, I will write it, students. There are totally 5 types are there. One by one, I will explain and I will write it. What is the type of inheritance? is a model. Type of inheritance is a model by which you can understand how the things are coming from base class to derived class. Example I will tell you. See students, a parent, a parent is giving their properties to the child, a single child for example, a single child for example. What is this is known as parent is called which class? Base class. Child is called which class? Derived class. This type of inheritance is called single inheritance. Spell out single inheritance. In single inheritance, what will be available? Single base class will be there, single derived class will be there. That is known as which inheritance? Single inheritance. Tell me what is the single inheritance? Hmm. What is the single inheritance? In single inheritance, there is a single base class and that's all. Go for so juicy. So parent class don't use it, ma. Base class and super class you use it. So base class and super class you use it. That is the best thing, ma. So here we need to use. Next, I will go for the another type of inheritance. I will go for it. What is the another type of inheritance? You follow me. One more type of inheritance. Grandparent, your grandparent. Next is called grandparent properties are coming to where? Parent. The parent properties are coming to where? Child. Pet child. So this is going to be known as what? Multi-level. Spell out multi-level. What is this child is called? Come on, derived class. Already చెప్పాను కదా. What is the child is called? For the child and parent, what is the parent is called? Base class. Base class or not? For this persons, for this people, for both of them, grandparent and parent. What is the grandparent? Base class. What is the parent? Come on, derived class. What is the parent and child relation? What is the parent is called? What is the child is called? That means this parent is acting as a base class come. It is known as a intermediate base class we can call. Spell out. Intermediate base class. This is known as which level inheritance? Multi-level. Tell me in multi-level inheritance, what will be the things happening? There is a single base class, one or more intermediate base classes, and the next is what? Single derived class. That is known as what? Multi-level. Are you following me? Yes. One more example. Grandparent, grandparent, and next parent and child. What is the child is called? Come on. Parent and grandparent. Intermediate base classes. What is the grandparent is called? Base class. Grandparent properties are coming to where? Grandparent. Grandparent properties are coming to where? Parent. Parent properties are coming to where? Child. This type of inheritance is called what? Multi-level. Prasanna Kumari. Hybrid inheritance. So please follow my class, ma. Please follow my class. Okay. So very danger. So multi-level inheritance. Please follow. Multi-level inheritance. Right. Don't go to your old knowledge. Your old knowledge, if you open up, it's a danger. Very danger. Old knowledge, if you open up, it's a very danger. There is no doubt in that. Pakka. That is a pakka. Right. So multi-level inheritance. Did you understand, students? Online students, did you understand? In single inheritance, how many base classes? One base class. How many derived classes? That is called, that is one model. Multi-level inheritance model is what? One base class, one or more intermediate base classes, and one derived class. That is called simple now. Right or not? Yes. Next, I am going to introduce one more here. Look at that. Here I am writing it. I am writing teacher in the class, teacher in the class, and having student S1, student S2, student S3, so on. Student SN. Student SN. This is known as what? Hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance. Spell out. This is known as which class? Base class. These are called which classes? Derived classes. How many derived classes? Many. How many base classes? One. Or a parent having two children. One is C1, one more is called as C2. One is C1, one is C2. This is known. How many base classes here? One base class. How many derived classes here? Two derived classes are available. This is also an example of what? Hierarchical inheritance. This is also called what? Hierarchical inheritance. So what is the hierarchical inheritance? In hierarchical inheritance, come on. In hierarchical inheritance, there exists a single base class, multiple derived classes. That is known as what? Hierarchical inheritance. Chandramouli. Hierarchy inheritance, no. Hierarchical inheritance. Don't add your own English. So you need to follow my things. Hierarchical inheritance. Spell out. What is happening in hierarchical inheritance? One base class, one derived class. Hierarchy maintained. Hierarchy maintained. Hierarchy will be maintained outside. So hierarchy will be maintained. Did you understand that hierarchical inheritance? Right. Chandramouli, good student. Now good. Rectified by yourself. Nice, good student. Next, I'm going to tell you opposite to hierarchical inheritance. Opposite to hierarchical inheritance. Best example. See that you have LKG teachers. And next is called your upper primary school teachers. Upper primary teachers up to 7th. 8th to 10th high school teachers. High school teachers. Next is called what your intermediate teachers. Next is called your BTech teachers. These many teachers you trained under. You trained under these many teachers. Correct or not? These many teachers' knowledge is coming to you. These many teachers' knowledge is coming to you. This is known as what? Multiple inheritance. Spell out. See, this teacher knowledge came. This teacher knowledge came. This teacher knowledge came. This teacher knowledge also coming. This teacher knowledge is also coming. So today you are like this. And is your knowledge is super? Is your knowledge is super? LKG knowledge, UKG knowledge, high school knowledge, all the teachers' knowledge is there. Is it? This is called which inheritance? Come on. Yes. Suppose a child getting the property from father, father property, getting the father from mother also. Both the properties are coming here. What type of inheritance is this? Multiple. Are you following me? Right. Did you understand what is multiple inheritance? In multiple inheritance, how many base classes will be there? Multiple base classes will be there. And class is called single derived class. What is that inheritance is called? Multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance. Clear or not clear? Now, I'm going to introduce next one is called what? Hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance. Spell out. Hybrid inheritance. What do you mean by hybrid? General meaning of hybrid is what? Combination. Hybrid meaning is combination. So I want to go for it. So what is this hybrid inheritance says here? Look at carefully. I'm going to take it. C1 is a class. C1 is a class which is giving the property to whom? Which is giving the simple example I'll tell you first. C1 is a class giving the property to whom? C2. And C2 is a class which is having two subclasses, C3 and C4. So come to this area and identify carefully. This part is known as what, student? This part up to here is known as what? Single inheritance. This part is known as what? Hierarchical inheritance. Both combination is known as what? Hybrid inheritance. Prasanna Kumari. Prasanna Kumari. Is it clear, ma'am? So is it understandable here? So what is the hybrid inheritance contains, sir? Two combinations or three combinations will present. What is this combination? Single inheritance and, come on, hierarchical inheritance. One more combination you see here. This combination you see. Is it called one type of inheritance or not? Which type of inheritance it is? Multi-level. One more type of combination you see, student. One more type of combination you see. What is this also? Multi-level. Two multi-levels are available here. It is also known as what? Hybrid inheritance. Understood? Right. One more type of example I want to tell you. One more example I will tell you. Look at carefully. C1 is a class. C1 is a class. And giving properties to whom? Giving properties to whom? C2 class. Giving properties to C3 class. Giving properties to C3 class. Which inheritance it is? Hierarchical. Hierarchical. Why you are getting problem in identifying? Which inheritance? Next C2 and C3 is combinedly giving to whom again here? C4. Which inheritance this below one is? Multiple. So here you come to this point once again. This inheritance is known as what? Hierarchical. This inheritance is known as what? Multiple. How many combinations here? So what are those? Hierarchical plus what? Multiple. Looking like a diamond or not? Looking like a diamond. In Java, this is a question in the interview point of view. What is the diamond problem? Actually, diamond problem is invented in Amirpet only, not invented by any of the scientists. So diamond is nothing but a combination of multiple. Actually, in Java, multiple inheritance is not supported by classes concept in Python, Java. That's why interfaces concept came into the Java programming. If anybody knows Java, if you don't know Java, don't worry about it. In Python, such problems are not there. Clearly, it is defined. Are you following me? So here what is happening? Such a diamond problem, gold problem is not there. Everything is gold only, everything is diamond only. So this inheritance is completely satisfied in Python level. So my conclusion is very, very simple. So what is this now? Hybrid inheritance is a combination of multiple inheritances. So one more time, look at that. I will take it as C1 here. C1 is coming to C2. C1 is giving to C3. And C2 is giving to C4. And C3 is giving to C5. And C4 and C5 is going to giving to whom? C6. C6 is giving to whom? C7. And C7 is giving to what? C8. This is comes under what? Hybrid inheritance. This is also comes under hybrid inheritance. Multiple combinations are there or not? This is comes under multiple inheritance. All the features of C1 coming to C2, C4, C6, C7. Also C1 things are coming to another route also. This is comes under the multiple inheritance. If we go to an interview, I will ask how C8 method can call C1 method under. Nobody can answer it. Nobody. How C7 can call what? C3. Nobody can answer it. This I'll explain in the class. With the polymorphism, I will explain. Marvelous. So tell me. So Prasanna Kumari, did you understand what is hybrid inheritance now? What is hybrid inheritance now? C1 to C2, C2 to C3, C3 to C4. What type of inheritance it is? Multi-level. And don't tell, sir, here single, here single, here single. Don't try to do that. Don't try to do that. It is just a danger kind of classification. It's a multi-level only. Understand? Well, so coming to the point of it, last and final, C1 to C2, C2 to C3, C3 to C4, C4 to C5, and C4 to C6. What type of inheritance it is? Hybrid. First 1 to C2, C4 is what? Good. C4, C5, C6 is what? hierarchical. That is nothing but what here these many number of inheritances are there. Are you following me? Online students. So please respond. Is it clear for everybody? Now I'm showing one beautiful definitions here. Some beautiful definitions I'll show you. So types of inheritances. I'll show you types of inheritances here. Right. So Sagar says very clear. Ramakrishna says very clear. So go to one more time. I'll go to show you this point here. Types of inheritances. I'll show one students. I already mentioned it. There I want to show you types of inheritances. Please read out that. Type of inheritance is one of the model or diagram or pattern which makes us to understand how the features are inherited from base class to derived class. In Python programming, we have 5 types of inheritances. Read out: single inheritance, multi-level, hierarchical, multiple, hybrid inheritance. These many number of things are available. Now I want to show you the definition. So definition I am going to show you, students. Try to follow, because I want to give you colorful diagram here, because writing this colorful diagram again not possible. Now that's why I put it normally. Come on, read out. Simple. Whatever you learned, you interact with me. Come on, students. Single inheritance. In single inheritance definition, this inheritance contains single base class and a single derived class. Diagram C1 to C2, superclass and subclass. Multi-level inheritance. This inheritance contains single base class, single derived class, and intermediate base class or base classes will be there. Intermediate base classes can be many. So if I take the diagram something like reducing, C1 is called what? Superclass. C3 is subclass. C2 is known as what? Subclass and superclass. For this it is a subclass. For this it is a superclass. That's why it is known as what, ma? Intermediate base class. Are you following me? Come to what next? Hierarchical. So this inheritance contains single superclass and multiple subclasses. Superclass C1 and multiple subclasses here. A teacher in the class, number of students in the class. Are you following, students? Right. Let us go to the next inheritance model I want to tell you. Multiple inheritance I want to take up. So there also you try to see, students. Multiple inheritance definition contains multiple superclasses, single subclass. Superclasses here, subclass here. Hybrid inheritance definition. Hybrid inheritance is equal to combination of any available inheritance type. Diagram number 1 here, diagram number 2 here. Diagram number 1, single base classes, single derived class, single inheritance. This is called what again? Hierarchical inheritance. Combination of two things is called what? Hybrid. Coming to diagram number 2, there I will say C1 to C2, C1 to C3. C1, C2, C3 is known as what? Hierarchical. And C2, C3 to C4 is called what? Multiple. This is called something like looking like a diamond here. This is called what? Hybrid inheritance. Understood? Now I want to go for practically to understand. So online students, now I'm going to say syntax for inheriting the features of inheritance. Now I'm going to write it syntax for inheriting, syntax for inheriting the features of features of which class? Features of which class? Still not getting. Base class into derived class. Where are you inheriting actually? Inheriting from where? Base class. Into which class? Why are you not filling that blank then? Inheriting from base class into derived class. So what is the syntax? Now I'm writing it. Very simple. Once you listen the concept, I'm asking you need to respond. So students, title is clear and now I am entering into programmatically. Concept is done. Now I will go for class CLS name 1. CLS name 1. You are writing some block of statements here. You are writing some piece of code here. Methods, maybe data members or whatever you like it. Next, what are you doing, mom? You are writing another class also. You are writing another class. You are writing another class. What is this now? Class name 2 you are writing. Class name 2 you are writing. This class name 2 is a separate class. Class name 1 is also separate class. So relationship between both of them I want to establish. So class name 2 need the development of what? Class name 1 as it is. So class name 2 definitely will get the features of what? Class name 1. How do you write it, students? Class name 1 I will write it. Class CLS name 2 of, in tuple bracket I mentioned it. In tuple bracket I mentioned it. Class name 1. This indicates what are all the data members and methods you have inside the class name 1. As it is, they are coming to which class? Class name 2. If there are 4 methods are present, all 4 methods will present in the class name 2 logically. Logically means what? It doesn't have the memory space. They are available, but they doesn't take any memory space. They are available, which you did not write the code. Neither we write the source code, nor they takes the physical memory space. Understood, students? Well, this is called one type of inheritance diagram. Still, if we go to more clarity, I will write one more thing like this. Class name n students. This is called a class name n. What these are all called separate classes. Suppose class name 1 want class name 2 and class name 3. I will write in the bracket called what? Class name 1, class name 2 or not. Here I will write it. Here you follow me. Here I am writing class name n plus 1. Class name n plus 1. In the bracket I will write CLS name 1, CLS name 1, comma, CLS name 2, so on. I will write it, comma, CLS name n minus n. I will write it. Close. What is CLS name 1 and CLS name 2 are called here? What is the CLS name 1 and CLS name 2 and CLS n are called? Base classes. For which class? Class name n plus 1. So here what is the class name n plus 1 is called? Quick. Yes, here CLS name n plus 1 is called what class here? Derived class. And what about the class name 1, class name 2, class name n are called base classes. Simple are called which classes? Base classes. And after this is line is completed, all the features of class name 1, class name n are virtually available in which class now? N plus 1. Suppose if class name n plus 1 contains one method plus one data member physically with a class name 1, coming two properties, coming three properties, coming three properties. Totally 8 properties are available in which class? Class name n plus 1. Logically they are available. Or if getting my point, this 1 plus 1, one data member, one method physically available in the class name n plus 1. But 8 things are coming virtually from base classes. Clear? Well, coming to students, whenever I go for creating this example, you take it, carefully try to follow me. When I take this example, students, careful. C1 is a class, or I will take like this. C1 is a class which is containing the data member called A. C2 is a class which is containing the data member called A. P is containing. Okay, be careful. C3 is a class name which is containing the data member called what? C. Now I am writing A, C1 is inheriting into C2. C2 is inheriting into where? C3. When I am writing, how do you write the code now? Class C1, I am writing a single skeleton code. Class C2, how do you write it? Of what I will write it? C1, C1, and you are saying something like that. What you are writing now? Class C3, of what you are writing? C2, and you are writing something like this, which is known as which inheritance? Come on, multi-level inheritance. Okay, coming to the object creation. See students, when I inherited, what is happening here? Logically, what is the data member present in C2? A. What is the logical data members present in C3? Come on. A and B are present. Come to the point back. When I create an object to C1, O1 is equal to C1, what you can access, what you cannot access. O1 dot A we can access. O1 dot B you cannot access. O1 dot C you cannot access. Why we cannot access? Because they are not present with which class? C1. C1 contains what only? A. You cannot access the separate class. C2 related data members, C3 related special data members cannot be accessed by whom? C1. Are you following me? But when you come to C2, create an object O2 is equal to what? C2. What you can access, tell me? O2 dot A you can access. O2 dot B also you can access. But you cannot access what? O2 dot C you cannot access. Because C is not a data member of what? C2. C is a special data member in where? C3. Now create an object of what here? O3 is equal to C3. Tell me, O3 dot A is possible to access or not? Yes. O3 dot B also possible to access. O3 dot C also possible to access. Ultimately, what is possible to access, what is not possible to access, you understood here. So by creating which class object you can access all the things? By creating which class object you can access everything. ముద్దుబాబులు ఏం అర్థం అవుదా మీకు అసలు? By creating which class object you can access everything? C3. C3. What is the C3 is called? Bottommost derived class. Bottommost derived class object. Usha. Good. So, Manas. Manas Ranjan Patra. Good. Venkat. So, need to rectify by yourself. Anybody written wrong? Emmanuel, you written base class. That is the wrong answer. Which class object we need to create now? Bottommost class object. If you create it, you can access all of them. So that means whenever you go for developing any inheritance based application, which class is having all the features? Bottommost class will have the all the features are available. So which class object I will create? Malla. Which class object you will create? ఎందుకని మీరు వేస్ట్ అసలు? C1 to C2, C2 to C3, C3 to C4, C4 to C5. Which class is having more number of features? దాన్ని ఏమంటారు అసలు? Bottommost derived class. English words రావు. What is C5 is called? Bottommost derived class. This class object if I create, I can access all the features by the C5 class object. ఏమైనా అర్థమవుతుందా? So you are going to get all the features of this one. So simple thing also getting problem. So here all the classes features are available into class name n+1. Bottommost class object need to create. That is the one more point I'll write it. And you know, who is the superclass for class name n+1? Class 1, class name 1, class name 2, class name n. You know, in Python programming, as I just mentioned it, C1 to C2, C2 to C3, like this I wrote it. Who is the superclass for C3? C2. C2 superclass is what? C1. So who is the superclass for C1? There is no superclass now. But actually, in Python, any class does not have any superclass. Implicitly, there is a superclass is existing, students. Implicitly, there is a superclass is existing. That class name is object. That class name is object. That object class, why this is made as an implicit superclass for every class in Python? If I write only the class called C1, if I write only the class called C1, C1 is having one superclass automatically. That class name is called what? Object. Why this class is on a superclass for every class? Because from this class only, your garbage collector getting inherited into all your derived classes. If any waste of memory space is taking place in your derived classes, which is automatically collected by what? Garbage collector. So that's why Object is the implicit predefined superclass for all the classes in Python. Int class, float class, bool class, you take it. For all the classes, who is the superclass? Object. So if we go to that, if we go to this Python environment, go to the Python environment here. So you try to observe it. Help of list you take. Help of list you take it. In this place, what is happening? Class list. In the bracket, what? Object. What is that object? Superclass for all the classes in Python. Even in NumPy also, D type is equal to object, we write or not? What is that object? Treat all the values as which type? Super type. Are you getting? For every type, super type is what? Object type. Any class you take it, you define your own class. For that class also super class will be done. Class KVR here. Class KVR here. I say pass. I say pass. Help of KVR I will write it. Help of KVR I will write it. What is the KVR superclass here? Class KVR. What is the superclass? Every class of Python belongs to what? Module. What is the default module of every Python program? Built-ins. What is the built-ins? Implicit predefined module. And our object class also belongs to which module? Built-ins module. Are you following me? So every class will have the superclass is available. That superclass is called object. Now I'm going to show you some small description for you. Look at that. Inheriting the features of base class into derived class. To inherit the features of base class into derived class, we use the following syntax. Class name 1, class name 2, class name n plus 1 of class name 1, class name 2, class name n. Now I'm giving the explanation there. Clearly try to read out. Start. Here, class name 1, class name 2, class name n are called base or superclasses. Class name n plus 1 is called a derived or subclass. Because of this syntax, what is happening? Here, all the features of class name 1, class name 2, class name n that are called base classes are inherited into class name n plus 1, and they are virtually available, and whose features are available, and whose features and whose features are available, whose features are available virtually, whose features are available virtually in where? Class name n plus 1. And we can access them along with, with all the accessing principles of hooks. How to access? Object name, if it is instance things, class level things and static level things we call with respect to class name. That is natural. We'll write as it is. Okay, done. Next step. When we develop any inheritance based application, it is always recommended to create an object of bottommost derived class. Why we create? Because inheritance, because, because inherits the features of intermediate base classes and base classes. All the features are inherited of, because it inherits the features of intermediate base classes and base classes. That's why we'll create an object of which class? Bottommost derived class we can create. Did you understand that point? Right. For every class in Python, there exists an implicit predefined superclass called object. Why? Because object class provides garbage collection facility. So that's why you need not write garbage collection thing at all. Automatically garbage collection facility inherited from topmost base class. For the data types of Python, object is a super data type. For every class, object is a super data type. Are you following me? Online students, is it clear? Is this description, syntax and everything is clear? Everybody need to respond. So only Ramakrishna is responding. Nagaraju responding now. So Sagar, Laksha, Rupesh, Prasanna, next Usha, Haripriya. So now everybody, Gaurav, Dikshavi, Rohit, Divya, Venkat, Srajan. Now everybody is responding now. Sandhya. Now good. So instead of showing thumb symbol up, try to type in the chart window. Laya, Amining. Good. Now I'll move to the further. Emmanuel responding. 177 students are there. Only few of them responded. So route Farin Unisha. Yes, clear. Now I'll go for the program now. Shall I go to the program now? Yes, these are all called concept based. Concept to be learned in a simple manner. Now I'll go to the program now. Simple, I will go to it. Easy also, not a difficult. Go to the PyCharm. Go to the PyCharm. Shubham, Mahipal, Farin Unisha. Right. Only few people responded. Others 177. Out of that, many of them are just listening. Right. So like this. Hemnad also responded. Good student. So Chandramouli also responded. Good student. Nagaraju, sometimes charts not opening, sir. Okay. Not a problem, my dear student. Right. Rupa, clear. Rupesh is also clear. Now I'll go to the program here. So see that now. Look at Nagalakshmi also clear. I'll go to the further. What is this now? Non-inheritance example. Non-inheritance example. Non-inheritance PROC. So see students dot py. Without inheritance, I am writing it. Take care carefully. First example. Without inheritance concept at all. So Sunanda. Okay, ma. Right. So I'll go to class C1. Class C1. First I will go for like this. DEF display. There I am writing small example. C1 display. C1 display of. This is called one function, right? Within that, what is the statement I written? C1 display. Simple class. I will take one more type of class. Class C2. Class C2. There is also called, this is a display 1. This is called a display 2. This is called a C2 display. C2 display 2. C2 display 2. This is C1 display 1. These are two separate classes are there. Understood? Now I want to execute them. How to execute, my dear students? Tell me. Come on, students. Don't take much time. You need to tell quickly so that I feel that you are following. Otherwise, there is no use, kada. If you don't respond, there is no use, kada. So display 3, C3, display 3, C3, display 3. So to execute all my functions, how many objects I have to create? Okay, create O1 is equal to C1 of. What is this line is called? Object creation. Object creation will do what? Allocate the memory space and keeps the empty inside of it by default. Which constructor is calling? Default constructor is calling. Okay. So O2 is equal to what again? C2, empty. Next is called what? O3 is equal to what again? C3, C3. So three objects are created. 3 times memory space is taken or not? O1 object memory space, O2 object memory space, O3 object memory space. Read out, spell out, so that sleep will not come. Sleeping now? Correct? Don't sleep. So, don't sleep. Next, I'm going to take about what? Call the methods. Call the methods. Call the methods. Call. Which class method you want to call? C1 class method you want to call. C2 class method you want to call. C3 class method you want to call. You will call with respect to the corresponding object only now. Come on. O1 dot display 1. O2 dot display 2. O3 dot display 3. So display 3. When you are calling that method, definitely it is an object. Separate object. Method is called one object, you know. Every method, every function name is an object. Of which type? Of which type? Of which type, students? ఎందుకని మీరు అసలు waste of India. Go to that 7 AM. Right. Ranjan Patra, perfect student. Ranjan Patra, perfect student. Already said. Then Charles Aljubicha, Malla, I am feeling very much guilty to show you again. To show you again. So here, this is called what? Function name. Function name. A function name represents a variable name. Treated as a function name. Every function name is an object of type function. How many times I shown? Minimum 4-5 times I shown in the class. Correct? Forgetting. Once if I say one time, you have to remember like anything. So here you go to the, what is this display one? It is a method. Method is nothing but a function name only. What is the type of that? Function type, function type, function type. They are objects. When I'm calling, three objects memory space taken, three times I'm calling separately, three times memory space created for a method also. Because every method name is called one type of object only. Why method three times? Because you written three times memory space. Suppose if I follow inheritance, one time only display one will create it. Rest of the time it is getting inherited only. Are you following me? So let us execute this code. Let us execute. Totally in this program, how many objects are there? 6 objects are there. Try to run this now. Output is coming. Output is coming. C1 display, C2 display, C3 display. Are you following or not? What is the memory space of this? 3 objects. 3 objects for functions. This is called what? Normal classes and object. This type of approach is coming. Don't go like this. Go like what? Inheritance, you use it. What is the inheritance is? Now I'm writing the code. Go to the place. Now I'm writing student. INH, INH, PROC 1.py. INH, PROC 1.py. There I'm going to take students. Sorry. INH, PROC 1.py. There I'm going to take up. You see this now. Here I'm writing. Demonstrating the concept of what? Inheritance now. See how difference is there. Now C1. You don't create 3 objects. Don't create 3 objects. Get it what? Get this method from C1 to where? C2. How do I get it? How do I get it? Of C1. What will happen? Student, a symbol, student, symbol. Are you seeing the symbol? What is that arrow down symbol is coming under? Inherited into which class? C2 class. C1 is known as which class? Base class. C2 is known as which class? Up to this is called which inheritance? Single. So C2 contains how many methods? 2 methods. One is physically display 2 available. Virtually display 1 is available. Yes or no? C3. C3 says I want to display 1 plus display 2. I will define only display 3. I don't define display 1 and display 2. So get from the above. Come on, what you will write? C2. C2. Ikkada. C2. Are you following me? Yeah, C is that students. C1 and C2. C1 is coming to C2. C2 is coming to where? C3. Tell me, in C3, how many functions are available? Come on. 3. Online students respond. Online student, Venkat, good. C3 contains how many methods? Out of 3 methods, how many of them are taking memory space only? What is that? Display 3 only taking memory space. Come to main program. Come to main program. Which class object you will create? C3 or C1 or C2? Good. Why it's C3? Because it contains all the methods. Earlier I was created how many objects? But today I'm creating how many? One only. How much memory space reduced here? 2 objects memory space reduced or not? That is happening because of what? Inheritance. Come on. O3 dot display 1. Display 1. See students. Happily you can take the flow. Display 1 method I called with respect to O3. O3 is an object of what? C3. PVM goes to which class? C3. Looking for display 1. There are not there are? There or not there? Virtually it is there, you need to say. Not there, you should not say. Virtually it is there. There or not there? Like that you need to tell. There or not there and not there. There, like that you stop it. What when I say certain thing, you have to but you have to remember it, you have to follow blindly. There or not there? Like that. Will it execute or not? Will it take the memory space with respect to C3? Never. It is neither takes the memory space nor writing the source code. So next O3 dot what? Display to. Display to. Come on, flow. Display to method called with respect to O3. O3 is an object of C3. PVM go to C3. Looking for display to. Not there. Yes, executed. Is it taking any memory space of display 2? Never, never. Next, I will take O3 dot display 3. Display 3, come on, same. Display 3 called with respect to O3. O3 is an object of C3. Go to C3, looking for display 3. There or not there? Physically, it is there. English, rather. Physically, it is there. Virtually, it is there. Physically, it is there. Physically, there means what? Takes memory space. Now tell me, if the classes C1 and C2 reused by 20 people, how many times memory space of display 1 and display 2 will take? One time only. It never takes rest of the 18 times, 19 times. If I write separately 19 classes, definitely 19 objects, 19 memory spaces for methods also. But with inheritance, what will happen? One object of bottommost derived class, one time display method, one time display 2 method, display 3 method memory spaces only creating, but here total overall how many objects memory spaces are taking? 4. What are the 4? O1, sorry, O3 plus what? Display 1, display 2, display 3. One time memory space is created. Earlier how many? 6. Now is it reduced or not? Reduced or not? So if my class C1 and C2, C3 used by lakhs of people, 1000 times, 999 times it won't take memory space because one time only memory space will be taken. Are you following me, students? So finally, what is my conclusion? Which one is a better one? Inheritance is a better one. If I go to polymorphism, it will take only 2. Here how many are written? 3 classes. How many memory spaces for O3 plus C1, display 1, display 2, display 3, one time memory space is taken. If I go to polymorphism, it will take C3, that is O3 object, plus it will take the memory space of one only. That is a 2 times only it will be coming. So ultimately we are preferring to go for what? Polymorphism. Right now, don't worry about polymorphism. Is it clear? Execute this example. Am I getting the same answer or not? Suppose, for example, if you don't write C3, C3 is not inheriting. Is it the errors are coming or not? What is that error? Attribute error. What error? Attribute error. C3 object, student listen the error. C3 object doesn't have what? Display 1. I will keep it a comment. Next is called again one more error. C3 object has no attribute called what? Display 2. Again it is an error or not? Again, it is an error. O3 dot display 3. What is the answer? Only one function is coming. So if I write it of what year, of what I'm writing, C2, which I'm going to get as it is or not? Yes. So this is called one small type of multi-level inheritance. Clear? Next, if I go to the further INH2, just a last example, just a skeleton example I am writing. Next class, we discuss more about that. So here 2.py, if I take this entire thing now, if I take like this, what I'm doing now is called what? C1 is a separate class, C2 is a separate class. Now I'm writing C1 comma C2. Which inheritance it is? Come on. C1 is a separate class, C2 is a separate class, C3 is going to get from C1 and what? C2. What class inheritance? multiple inheritance. Earlier is multi-level. Now it is both of them same only. C1 to C2, C2 to C3. Or C3 directly getting what? C1 and C2. Like a father property is separate, mother property is separate. Both of them are coming to the child. Are you following me? Same. Which class object I will create? C3 only. What are the functions available? Methods available inside of it? Same methods are available. O3.display1, O3.display2, O3.display3. Execute it. Same type of output is coming or not? Very simple. You can also do the same thing. This is called 2.py. Last and final students. This 3.py I want to say. In another way, how to call students. Very simple students. 3.py I am saying. 3.py to try to practice this skeletons first time. Here I'm going to take it. In this place, you see only what you will call only display 3 only you call. O3.display 3 only you are calling. Okay, you are getting the answer of display 3. When it comes to display 3, in this place, call the base class methods. How do you call? Self dot, come on. What is this now? Self dot what? Display 1. Self dot display 2. What are these lines are called? Calling. Calling. Which class methods? Base class methods. From which class? From which class? Derived class. How I am calling? Like a normal only, self dot only. Normal calling only. Execute. Execute. Answer is same or not? You can call like this. Are you able to follow? Which inheritance it is? Multiple inheritance. Earlier, which inheritance it is? Multi-level. You can call here even in this place also. This is separately from main program I called. Here only display 3 called. From display 3, I am calling the base class methods like this. Clear, students? Right. In next class, when I come back, we'll talk about data members also, how to inherit. So this entire class is inheritance only. Concept is covered. Some small skeleton is covered. Tomorrow I'll go for big problems. Polymorphism also adding to that. Don't miss that tomorrow class. And Saturday that too. Don't miss it. Thank you. Evening we will meet once again in Pandas class. Take care, students. Online students.